Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Lawson, founder and executive director of VictimstoVictory. We have been around for 20 years, and in the early 90s here in Memphis, we had a soaring crime rate, especially with homicide. And during that period, there were 3 families at my local church who were impacted by homicide loss. That was a very personal experience to me. I was in a counseling role at the church, and I discovered in that process that there was really no faith-based services available for families who were dealing with that kind of loss and trauma. So after a year and a half, which January of 1995, VictimstoVictory was launched specifically for the purpose of reaching families who were grieving the loss of loved ones.
My sister left a legacy, 5 beautiful kids, and I want to make it known because this is how our lives were impacted. The baby was 2 months old, another baby was 15 months old, and 3 years old, and an 8-year-old and a 13-year-old. Well, first we had to love on them. They lost their mother. She was murdered. We had to step in and take full responsibility, with legal stuff and everything. We just didn't know anything about that. We didn't know anything about legal. We didn't know anything about this service, Victims to Victory. We didn't know anything about it, and I guess with all this being said, 5 babies in your home at one time, that's a lot. It's a lot.
We provide a wide range of services for individual victims of violent crime and family members of murder victims. Those services include crisis intervention, individual counseling. We have support groups that meet on a regular basis for family members of homicide victims and one for domestic violence. We go to court with families, providing that criminal justice advocacy and court accompaniment. We also have information about victims' compensation, and that's real important for our clients because many of them don't have financial resources to bury their loved ones when they're killed, or there may be children who have had parents murdered, and victims' compensation assists them in providing financial resources for their future. So just that ongoing emotional support, connecting with families on a day-to-day basis, doing the phone calls, the follow-up, the home visits, those are things that we do that are needed to help families in the healing process.
When my sister passed away in March of 2010, we found her. I worked in a hotel. I won't name the hotel, but I loved that position. It was like going to work every day and not being able to say I was going to work. And how they found my sister's body, I never wanted to go and stay in a hotel room. And I told God, and you don't have to fix me because I'm broke. And y'all had this retreat. And I want to say Columbus, St. Columbus, and I told my husband, I said, "You gonna go with me?" He's like, "No, I think you need to go." But what I didn't know was at the time, I was getting healing. I was getting counseling at the same time. And that was my first time spending the night away from home, sleeping in the bed. Mind you, they found my sister's body in a motel room. So that was very devastating to me. I had talked to God, but He was working it out through Victims to Victory, this support group. No one knew that I was so afraid to stay in this retreat overnight. And that was my blessing too.
Well, in order to continue to really meet the needs of people who are hurting as a result of crime-related crises, we need financial support. That is a primary need. We need donors who will give on a monthly basis so that there is regular revenue coming. The people that we serve are served at no cost to them. And we want to be able to continue doing that. But that can't happen unless you have trained staff, unless you have the supplies and the things that are needed to carry on the work that we do. So the financial giving is absolutely essential.
Well, when you look at the news, it's never you. And one day it might be you. So, you don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. So everybody been in a different situation where they seen things on the news, but they said that's awful, it don't happen in my neighborhood, but one day it'll be at your door. So it'll be a good idea to support Victim to
Victory can be reached by phone at area code 901-274-6828, or we can be contacted through our web, and that site is www.victimstovictory.org.
Victory.